Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Akshat, and if you don't know me, I run a lead gen agency called Predict Reach. And if you want to know more about us, you can just go to our website and see what we do. And if there's a fit, you can just book a call straight away. But let's get into the video. So today's video is actually going to be really interesting because I'll be sharing some of my first campaigns that I ever launched when I was um, in high school or in college or when I was working in my first job. And this is pretty interesting because I almost did most of the mistakes that you should not. Like if you are starting out, if you're watching this video, if you're starting your campaign, if you're building a campaign for the first time in your life, this could be actually really helpful. So let's, without wasting any more time, let's get into it. So let's understand, first of all, what does a successful campaign have? Like if you're running an outbound email, cold email campaign, what would your successful campaign look like? The first thing would be the infrastructure. Everything from your inboxes, your domains, your warm-up, everything, the settings should be sorted, right? Your MX records should not be effed up. Like they should be really sorted. This is what really matters when you are running cold email at any scale, be it 10,000 emails per day. This is something that if it breaks down, if you start going into spam, no one can save you, right? No amount of targeting, no amount of copy, no offer can save you if you're not landing in the primary inbox. So that is something that I see a lot of people mess up these days. But this is something that is extremely crucial that you need to figure out and you need to fix first. Second one is targeting. So reaching out to the right person, reaching out to the right company that actually needs your service or your product is extremely important. And by that, I mean, a lot of people don't explain it, but let me tell you this in detail. What that means is someone who feels the pain. So if I'm selling outbound to someone, I won't sell it to someone who is an enterprise who already has a bunch of SDRs and who is already a company or a VP of marketing who is already getting a ton of leads every fucking month. I won't sell to them, right? I would sell to the people who are struggling with outbound, right? Who are struggling with, who think that hiring SDRs would actually help them build a pipeline, which indeed won't, right? So all the agencies out there, all the SaaS companies out there, you can literally reach out to any B2B business and you'll be good with it. And the third one comes the copy. So now copywriting, you might find a lot of videos on YouTube on how to write a good copy, but what I would give you as an advice is just keep it pain focused. Don't try to sell in the first email itself, and don't try to close the prospect in the first email itself. Just try to get them on a conversation, on a call, and that's all that matters, right? So we'll talk about it in another video on how a good copywriting happens or how a good copy looks like. But yeah, that's a topic for another video. The last one is off. If your offer is messed up, if your offer is not a leveraging one, and I'll tell you what that means. You're not going anywhere. You could have the best infrastructure, like you could literally have 100% deliverability. All of your emails could be landing in the inbox. You could be targeting the best people in the world that absolutely need your service. But if your offer is really hard to say yes to, for example, if you ask a prospect on an email to just pay the invoice or just sign up for a paid trial, nobody would do that, right? Because with cold audience, the problem is that the trust level is really low. So you need to build a trust by getting them on the sales call first. So the entire motive of a cold email is to either get a conversation going, and ultimately after the conversation starts, it is to get them on a sales call. And that is where real sales happens. It's not on the email that it happens. So these four things, if you get all of these four things right, and that is the beauty of cold email, you need to get all of these in place. You need to get all the blocks connected. Then only it will work. Right? Then only your replies will increase and your meetings ultimately will increase. So let's see what campaigns did I run. So this was the first ever campaign, like ever in my life when I ran it. It was targeting YouTubers for a subtitle writing service. And back then AI did not used to be there. So I used to manually write subtitles and captions for all the people making videos in India. All right. And these are some of the campaigns that I ran. And if you can clearly see, the volume is really low. Like I'm literally targeting 20 people, 40 people. It was like a mail merge. I was literally building all these lists from scratch. I was manually going to every YouTuber's, what do we call it, channel page, right? Like their about section, and then manually clicking and finding their emails. So this was a really hard time, but I got a good reply rate. As you can see, I got like a 4 out of 40 replies. So that's like 10% reply rate. Honestly, that's good. Um, if I'll show you the copy that I sent, you'll be amazed to see how bad it was. Like it had all the things that should not be in a cold email. I included links. I included a bunch of formatting, like coloring the text and everything, bolding the text and everything. It did not look like a normal cold email, like something that a customer or an employee or an a colleague would send. It did not look like that, but it still got me conversions. And by the way, let me tell you this: out of these 4 replies, all of them were interested. So one even agreed to get on a call with me. So I mean, I guess it worked. And the one thing that I want to highlight here is that this was sent from my personal email. So I did not use any workspace account. I used a personal email to send it, and maybe that's why I did not have to like warm up properly, and it just still worked. But now let's come to the serious cold emails that I sent recently. Um, this was the first ever campaign, and as you can see, and these were absolutely terrible campaigns. Like I'll tell you at the end of the video what were the mistakes that I did, but these were absolutely terrible. As you can see, we contacted like 100 people, got no opens because we were not tracking them. Later on, I realized that we should not track opens. Um, there was no interaction, so it means interaction means there was no link clicks. Okay, we included links in our video, in our emails, but nobody actually clicked because nobody ever saw them, and I'll tell you that what that means later. Nobody answered, obviously, because again, nobody ever really saw or read that email. And if you see encrypted, that means the bounce rate is 10%. Industry average is 2 to 3% at max. If you go beyond it, it means you're going to spam. And if you see, it's already 10% here. So it means we were doing absolutely terrible. If you look at some other campaigns, you will notice that we contacted 176 people. And by the way, this did not go through like the entire funnel. So it did not reach the entire prospect list. As you can see, we only contacted 34.6 people because we realized that we're not getting engagement. It means something is wrong. And we turned all the campaigns off at the same time. So yeah, just to prevent the damage, right? Now you see 3.7 bounce rate, 5, that is okay. 1% is interaction. That means people clicked on the links, but it also included LinkedIn requests accepted or LinkedIn messages received. So that is also part of it because we were doing omni-channel outreach, but yeah. And if you see answered, that's one person answered, 0.2% reply rate, absolutely terrible. Won't ever, like I would not ever want to see that reply rate in my life again for me or my clients. Okay. And this video is just to show you how terrible campaigns look like and what are the mistakes behind it, right? So that you can actually avoid them when you doing it yourself. So if you see one person replied here, and that was also not interested. It was like I still remember it was like, take me off your list, and that felt rude at first, but then I was like, yeah, that's how it works. Then we contacted 93 people in the third campaign, got like a 1.1% interaction, which is honestly really bad. I'll be very honest with you. 5.44% bounce rate, and this, by the way, this interaction thing actually included in LinkedIn connections as well. So the people who accepted a LinkedIn connection request were also included in interaction. So if you see from the email side, there was 0% reply rate. Have you ever seen in a campaign? Have you ever seen a campaign have 0% reply rates? Like, that's insane, honestly. The fourth campaign again saw 0% reply rate. The fifth campaign also saw 0% reply rate. Although the bounce rates were good, but nah, bro, this was not working honestly at that time. Then we have the last one. and that is it. So absolutely, the numbers are absolutely shocking. Now that I look back at it, how did I survive that? But it just happened to be. So, what are the lessons that I learned from it, and what can you learn from it so that you don't F up all these things? The first one is we did a poor warm up. Now, what do I mean by that? See, when you warm up your emails, there is a minimum time of at least 2 to 4 weeks. We did it for like 2 weeks, but even in that 2 weeks, the warm up score that we received was around 75. So 25% of our emails were still going to spam, even when they were in the warm up pool. So ideally, you should have like 100% warm up score. Like, there is no possibility that your emails are going in spam if you are warming them. If your warm up shows a spam score, that means something is wrong with your domains or technical setup, right? Like your SPF, DKIM, DMARC, everything. But if you still want to sustain a good deliverability, ideally I would recommend 95 plus. 97 is considered good, is a good benchmark, but 100 is the best, obviously, right? That's the limit. If I ever had to go beyond it, I would absolutely like 101% warm up score. That would be insane, but that's not possible currently. So the second one was spammy copy. So as I told you before, we'll talk about copywriting in another video, but just to give you some context, if you're cold emailing, it means you're doing something at scale, right? You're not sending 10 cold emails per day. That's something you could do manually as well, right? And that's something you could do with way more personalization as well, right? So what we did is we included a lot of links in our copy. For example, a testing link or a Calendly link or anything like that. Then we tracked the opens. So how many people were opening our emails, which is absolutely unsustainable, like unreasonable in 2026. Like this does not work. And this is not a metric that you need to track, right? And again, we were tracking links. So this is what a spammy copy looks like. And obviously we had a lot of spam words as well, like guarantee, offer, percentage increase, dollars, everything. So even if we could have the best copy, we did not try with that. Like we did not even get to see if the copy was working or not. We just simply couldn't um, reach the amount of volume we could do because our warm-up was like insane and our deliverability was like 50%. Let me tell you this. We ran a placement test, inbox placement test, and our deliverability for all the emails that we were running on came out to be 50%. And ideally, it should be 95% plus. At worst, it should be 90% plus. And we were at 50%. So it means our inboxes, our domains were absolutely burned. And literally we were literally doing it for like, we've been launching those campaigns for like 1 month. It had been 1 month since we did that. And in that 1 month, because of poor warm up and all those, everything stacked up. And ultimately, our placement went to 50%. So you don't want to be doing that. So just keep that in mind. The third one was poor targeting. Now, we did receive I did receive some replies, but all of them, literally all of them were like, I'm not interested or take me out of list. And when I actually checked on an individual level who those people were, they were nowhere near our ICP. Like we were targeting e-commerce brands and head of e-commerce, founders at e-commerce brands. And when I got to see who were the people that replied not interested, they were some B2B companies founders or I mean, some enterprise companies founders, like nothing near our ICP. So that is what I mean when I say you need the company as well. Uh, that should be right, and you need to get the job title as well right. So I mean, there are obviously way more things that need to be considered when you're building lists, but this is the most basic thing that you can get right. Like right. So that was the biggest turn off for me, honestly, in that campaign. The last mistake was no clear offer. We did not have absolutely any clear offer. We were just putting out ourselves in the market in front of those people who were and who were not our ICP, and we were not clearly stating the outcome that we were driving for them, and they had no way to opt in or opt out of that email. So they had no reason to actually reply to that email because there was no offer in that. Like, we were literally not mentioning anything that could actually help them with what they really want to achieve. For example, could be website conversions, could be reduced drop offs, anything. So that's just technical terms I'm using it, but I hope you get the context right. So the offer was absolutely poor. I mean, you can check my video, you can check the video on my channel about offer creation. You'll get to know more about it in detail and how all this works and how does a good offer look like. But these are some of the lessons, these are some of the campaigns we launched, and it's just a video for myself as well that I'm making, so that when I come back 10 years down the line and I see, oh, okay, I did these mistakes, and you know, this is how my starting of the career looked like. And I mean, I'll be amazed to see that, right? I'll feel nostalgic and everything. So that's about it. That's the video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.